Hey, it's JJ Virgin, and welcome to the JJ Virgin Lifestyle Show, where I talk nutrition, exercise, mindset, and lifestyle with some of the coolest people in the world. Plus, I give you tips that you can put into fast action to up-level your health so that you can go out there and live that big life you're meant to live. Now, today's show is all about hormone harmony, before, during, and after menopause wisdom with longevity and women's health expert Dr. Anna Cabeca. You know what she really calls it, and I love this title? She calls it magic menopause. And I wanted to bring her in because we get so many questions about that because, heck, so many of us are dealing with it. And what's so fun here is that Dr. Anna Cabeca has been a longtime friend. I think I've known her over a decade now. And she was one of my pals at my 50th birthday party. In fact, it was like a bunch. There were actually four hormone docs at my birthday party. We all were down in South Beach. You know, how crazy is that? It was super fun. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Anna. And Dr. Anna Cabeca she's also been near and dear to my heart. When my son was in the hospital, she was one of the first people to reach out and share with me one of the therapies she'd learned about when she was in medical school at Emory. So she's really just been consistently there, and she's super smart and always doing the work. When she had her own family tragedy, they went off for a year and did a healing journey and spent a lot of time out in the Amazon where she developed some new products and new therapies. So she is just super cool and walks the talk. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a certified gynecologist and obstetrician, and she's also board certified in anti-aging and regenerative medicine, an expert in functional medicine, and an expert in women's health. She specializes in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and natural alternatives, successful menopause, and age management. She earned her medical degree from Nova Southeastern University, and then she did her residency at Emory. And now she still hangs out and lives in Southeast Georgia. She's always trying to get me to come out to her island that she lives on. She lectures all over the place on restorative health and women's health issues and trains other physicians in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and functional medicine. She's got 5 kids and she speaks 4 languages. She grew up in a multilingual and cultural household and has been all over the place and trained all over the place: Asia, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, South America. And she also co-created the Sexy Younger You Telesummit, and she also created the Women's Restorative Health Program, Sexual CPR, and now she's got this very cool concept. In fact, I was like, Anna, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. She calls it magic menopause, but there is a concept in here that she created I literally never heard of before, and I immediately said, that's the book, trademark that. This is going to be huge, and I'm super excited to share it with you. She's going to explain it, but you're going to absolutely want to go deeper on this because this is something that I think can lay over everything that we're doing. So today's guest on Magic Menopause is Dr. Anna Cabeca. All right, so let's do it. Dr. Anna Cabeca, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here with me today.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here with you too, JJ.
I get pummeled about menopause all the time. It's one of the top questions I get asked about. So let's dive right into it. Since you are the menopause master here, what are some of the most common symptoms of menopause?
Really, one of the biggest symptoms that really drive women crazy, make us go crazy even, are the hot flashes and night sweats. So that disrupts our lifestyle, it disrupts our sleep, just kind of changes up our circadian rhythm. So that's one of the big ones. The other areas of menopausal issues are definitely the moodiness, the fatigue, the weight gain, hair loss, the hormonal symptoms such as the irregular cycle, lengthening of cycles or breakthrough bleeding or ovarian cyst and breast changes and all those gynecologic symptoms that kind of come in at the same time as menopause. But some of the most troubling ones are really the hot flashes, the weight gain, and the drop in energy. And the brain fog is right up there too.
Hey, I'll share one that I hadn't heard about until it happened to me. And it was actually how I knew this was all happening. I couldn't recover from going to the gym. Like I would do my normal workouts and I just felt like I was sore all the time and I just didn't have the energy like I used to have when I went to the gym. So it was more than just fatigue. I felt like I was just a little bit inflamed.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually what I noted with my research is increased acidity, right? So it's harder for us to get and stay alkaline with whatever these hormonal changes are. And we have protective hormones, progesterone, pregnenolone, some of our mother hormones, and those decline during this time. And that can also shift our pH balance,
Okay, well,
our
let's talk more on that because
potential.
people may go, what, acid, alkaline, pH? And I think that that's kind of a concept that we throw out there, but I don't think it's widely understood. So can you like simplify that one down for all of us?
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk about the just kind of when we talk about getting alkaline, you hear that in the health space all the time, like alkaline diets, get alkaline, 80% alkaline, 20% acidic. What all does that mean? And that really comes down to is we're not talking about our blood pH, which our body keeps in homeostasis by maintaining that very delicate blood pH. But what we talk about is just in general, like how is our mineral status? And the better our mineral status, the lower our inflammation, the more alkaline we are. And so when we look at that concept, we can look at acidity, means inflammation, means high sugar, means industrialism, right? If you conceptualize it that way, you can visualize that, like New York City, acidic.
Mhm.
And then alkaline would be like out in nature, the Amazon, low inflammation, uh, lower risk of cancer, breast protective, decreased joint pain, so improved recovery after the gym, better hormonal balance, easier for us to lose weight, less inflammation, and more alkaline. So we're more alkaline in those states. So that's what, like, think of the Amazon jungle. So Amazon versus industry,
Well,
and that's kind of how
We all want to be Amazons. So
the Amazonian. I think we are
we
Amazonians.
are, we are, we are. So I would love to do a great contrast because I think a lot of people listening can understand this first part of the question. Then I want to show you the sharp contrast, show them. So if someone's going through menopause, what it would typically, like, they'd go to their doctor and say, okay, I'm getting hot flashes. What's the typical course of action there?
Yeah, and typically they come in, I've got hot flashes, maybe they're having vaginal dryness, drop in libido, other very common issues as well. And so, like, the conversation will start, okay, well, let's check your hormones. And the standard hormone evaluation would be a blood LH and FSH on around cycle day 3 to say, okay, are you in menopausal hormones? And if your labs come back normal, well, you're not menopausal yet, come back in 6 months or a year, and or recognizing, okay, we need estrogen on board. And in fact, that may not be what you need on board at the time.
So now let's contrast it because I see more and more of this as people go in, and generally what I get from everybody posting on Facebook is they tend to get a birth control pill and Prozac.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to fix it. So what do you do? So someone comes to you, and I know that you've found some like different ways to handle this that work. So what are the key solutions that you've discovered and tested that you're seeing are helping people?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I do want to elaborate a little bit more on that because, like, the perimenopause, ladies, if you're in your 30s and you're experiencing irregular periods, breakthrough bleeding, increasing symptoms of PMS, those are perimenopausal symptoms as well. And so you can be in your 30s experiencing this, even night sweats and hot flashes. Now, that's going to be more with extreme hormonal imbalances. But it typically does lead, okay, let's slap a birth control pill on and just control your periods. Okay, you've got PMS still. Don't like your husband? Here's some Prozac. You won't care, right? And the next thing is, well, you're still bleeding, having cyst, and let's go ahead and take out your uterus. And while you're there, since you're over age 85, let's take out your ovaries at the same time to decrease that really remote risk of ovarian cancer. And then you come back and say, well, I'm still not feeling good. And, I don't even want to have sex, nor can I remember the last time I had sex. And it's not because it's been that long ago, and so the memory issues are there. And the next thing we're doing is writing a referral to the psychiatrist, and, they're scheduling an appointment with a divorce attorney, right? I mean, it's like a bad sequela
Yeah.
situations that happen. And if we're not addressing the underlying issue. So early on, it's often estrogen dominant. And you'll hear me talk about that over and over again. And so we want to get progesterone on board, but we want to detox the body, alkalinize the body. Because what I found, JJ, like I always joke, I said, I've been through menopause 3 times now at 39, 44, and now at 49, at 48 and 49. Now I'm 50 and I'm like, okay, I'm not in menopause anymore. So it's, I joke about it, but hormone imbalance stress is really, we handle it differently as we go through these significant menopausal changes. And so when we were able to detox in our 20s and 30s and hormones were able to be really balanced, right? It's harder in our 40s and 50s. So bringing in and actually testing and checking your alkalinity makes a difference. I think in the functional medicine space, we're all like, okay, detox because your liver's metabolizing your hormones. Let's get you on some probiotics. Let's get you on liver, phase 1 and phase 2 detox support, fish oils, my mighty maca greens. Let's just pile this on you and that's the functional medicine space. But it's more than that. If we're not actually testing and checking to see that our bodies are alkaline, we'll actually be surprised. The American working women, maybe they're 50 like me, have a third grader and one off to college, right? It's a big span of children, or maybe empty nesting, but the stress is there and the lifestyle more indoors than outdoors for many of us takes a consequence on our pH balance, our ability to detoxify, especially in this hormonal state. So it's harder for us to stay balanced, to stay sane, I like to joke, and so that's part of the therapeutic approach to menopause, getting on some bioidentical hormones, adding or progesterone, starting with that, detoxing, getting your body alkaline and trying to stay there with checking urinary pH. Again, there are limitations, but that's a good thing to check. And then, working through any tweaks that we need to do with the hormone, and the lifestyle is so important. I think more than anyone that, health is about 25% diet and exercise. It's a big part of it, but it's not the whole picture. The way we think, the way we live, the toxins in our environment, etc., play a really big role.
So I want to go back to some, because I've actually never heard anyone really talk about acid alkaline balance in menopause. Like I've never heard that brought into it. And I remember when you were telling me this, offline, when we were chatting a couple weeks, maybe it was a month or so ago, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the coolest concept ever. And it is this concept of keto alkalinity. So
yes.
We have a new approach, and I would love you. I know this is not one that we're going to be able to kind of nail in a short podcast. So I know that I'm hoping you have something that you can send people to get more info, but could you just briefly explain that? Because I've actually never heard of this before. I know you came up with it. And what I love the most is you've got the science behind this. You get the biochemistry, but so often you'll read a study and go, all right, well, there's the science. But then when you actually apply it to people, it doesn't work. Or something works, but you don't have the science to back it up. And this is one where there's the science behind it, and you've now been using it successfully, applying it into an area that hasn't been applied before, which is menopause. So I'd love you to give a soundbite answer to what this is and how it can help those of us who are going crazy during menopause.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. And then we're already going crazy during menopause. We add on a ketogenic diet, which has so many health benefits. Then we just become keto crazy, right?
Right.
So what I was trying to figure out, my dad had, was caretaking my dad who's 90. And I'm like, he needs a ketogenic diet. I'm going to put him on this. And I kept just getting cranky. And so I figured it out. I started checking my urine. I was very acidic. No matter what I did, as healthy as I was eating, I was tremendously acidic. So I really focused on getting alkaline and felt amazing. Added in, work to get keto alkaline, which is sometimes very hard because of the higher proteins, higher fats, right? And that can be very acidic food choices. And so combining the two, though, gives you in really two words, energized enlightenment. I mean, you feel clear, you feel bright, you feel cognizant, you feel aware, you feel more loving and peaceful and receptive, all those beautiful things. And in menopause, no, there's no studies out on menopausal women, right? And most of the nutrition work is done on men or very fit younger women. So this is a whole new area. And I took 130 women through my program called Magic Menopause. And I'm like, okay, it works for me. It worked for a test group of 8 to 10 women in my little community here on St. Simon's Island. And then I took it to 130 women around the world. And lo and behold, it works outstandingly. And then the ability to just measure and stay accountable to ourselves, like checking to make sure, okay, yes, I'm alkaline, and really thinking, okay, I've eat really well anyway, but I thought I was on a ketogenic diet, but I'm not really there. They're very acidic. So we had all this great kind of data come from it that showed that when you combine the two, it just creates the clarity, the loss of hot flashes, the hormonal balance, the increased libido, the brain, willpower, weight loss, tremendous results. And you're like, oh my gosh, you feel really 10 years younger. And it's an inspirational thing because as women entering, in our 50s, we have so much to give back. We have so much to enjoy. We've worked really, really hard and often don't feel like we can even take out the trash without being exhausted, right? So it's re-empowering ourselves, JJ. And I had one woman, she's 73 years old, retired flight attendant, always wanted to take flying lessons. And at the end of the program, she sent me a picture of her in her plane taking flying lessons. There's no age limit. Our age range in our program was 38 to 73. And I recognized that was not a soundbite, was it?
No.
I get so excited.
All right, I know, and I'm glad. I know you have. Something that you'll be able to give everyone. I'm going to get to that too, because I always make sure that our guests have some cool way for people to go deeper with them as a gift. But before I get there, I have just a little speed round, to ask you about. And I'm not even giving you any warning about this, Anna. So, if you could do just one thing every day, what is the one thing that you do every day that makes the biggest difference in your life?
It's my expression of gratitude. I would say that gratitude journaling, honestly, being able to just write down thanks, give thanks, express thanks, is the biggest thing I can do. It sets my frame for the entire day.
Oh, I love that. That is so awesome. And I'm sure people weren't expecting that. They'd say, oh, have some greens. But, it's like it starts with mindset first, as we all know. Now, Dr. Anna Cabeca, where should people go because they're dying to have more and they want to dig into this and finally get back into hormone balance and not feel like crazy bloated and tired?
Yes, magicmenopause.com, magicmenopause.com. Join me. We're starting another round.
Okay, well, what's there? What's there? I'm going to cut you off, Missy. You are just what is there right now if they go there right now that they can get, that'll get them started right away? Is there something, a cool gift or something there that they can get?
Yes, they will get our menopause quiz. So you'll actually get your report card. How are you doing in menopause? Again,
awesome.
30s through.
Awesome. And so you'll get that. And I think you've got some mistakes people are making that they'll know never to make because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And yes. You are one of my go-tos, one of my longtime pals, and one of my go-to experts in the field of menopause. So again, I love the name, magicmenopause.com. Jump on over there and grab that. And Dr. Anna, so awesome having you on this. We just got to get together again. So yes. I want to thank you for joining me and remind everyone to go to magicmenopause.com. And after the break, I'm going to be answering a listener's question. So be sure to stay with me.
Ready to lose fat fast and keep it off forever? Discover the #1 resource for fast and lasting fat loss by visiting jjvirgin.com. Access exclusive videos, content-rich blog posts, and lots of free resources to help you lose weight and feel better fast. And be part of a community. Get ready to transform your life one simple shift at a time by visiting www.jjvirgin.com.
Welcome back. This is the time where I answer a listener's question, and today's question comes from Sharon in Cincinnati, and it's actually really coming from her husband, Ron. And she says, JJ, I'm asking this question for my husband, Ron. He's in his late 50s, and he's just doesn't seem to have the energy and ability to recover from his workouts and the ability to lose weight like he used to. I notice he has a little paunch in his midsection, and he's just kind of, What would you recommend? Well, this is a great question because Dr. Anna Cabeca today talked about menopause, and menopause, yes, that's for women, but there's one for guys too, and it's called andropause. And andropause, which means that for men, you're going to see testosterone going down. And by the way, estrogen can start coming up. You start converting some of your testosterone to estrogen, or that happens, especially if you've got more belly fat, you can become more insulin resistant. But this is something that can happen to men. It generally happens in their late 50s. But by the way, this can happen to younger guys too, due to stress. Stress is a big trigger here, so a big stressful event, as well as a lot of the different xenoestrogens or estrogens in food, like soy. You do not want to be feeding your guy soy because soy can raise estrogen, or a lot of the xenoestrogens that you'll see in the different plastics and things. So what should you do here? Well, just like we talk about with women, where we always want to start with diet and stress management, it still goes through, hey, get on the virgin diet, get on the sugar impact diet, go through your personal discovery process to customize a diet that will work for you. That's step one. And let's go and get insulin sensitive, because if you're insulin resistant, you're actually going to have issues where you're converting more of the testosterone to estrogen. So even if you went and got bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which a guy will want to do too, you would have challenges keeping that as testosterone. So the first thing is starting with diet, and then really working through stress and sleep, because those two things, poor sleep is stressful, and poor sleep leads to insulin resistance, and stress can lower testosterone, need to be dialed in. And of course, looking at thyroid function, because if thyroid's not working well, testosterone won't be working well. And then looking at some other things. Sleep is huge for testosterone. Also, making sure that you're exercising regularly, especially resistance training. Getting a little bit of a carbohydrate at night. So what we teach people to do is eat by the virgin diet or sugar impact diet plate, and that's healthy protein, optimal protein, healthy fats, and then some high fiber, low carbs. So non-starchy vegetables and things like wild rice or sweet potatoes or pumpkin or squash or legumes, and especially at night, because that's going to help you sleep better and help you boost your testosterone. So these things are key. And then with that, go and get your levels tested. So not only are you going to look at, a great blood chem and look at blood sugar and insulin and look at thyroid and look at stress hormones through adrenal salivary index, you also want to look at, of course, your testosterone and your estrogen. So that's where you go work with a bioidentical hormone doctor. But again, you want to come in with all of your house in order, is the way I'm going to put it, so that if you do need some testosterone supplementation, that you'll need as little as possible, because that's what you want to really do with bioidentical hormones, is use the least amount that you need to do, and then make sure you're using the supplements in there to help detoxify any metabolites that might come in. A great one there is DIM, or to make sure that you're not converting testosterone to estrogen. A great thing there would be chrysin. All right, and your amazing functional medicine doctor can help you do all that. Now, if you'd like to submit a question, just go to jjvirgin.com/ask, and you can leave a voicemail for me. I can't wait to hear from you. And one more way I'd love to hear from you, I would hugely appreciate it if you could jump on Stitcher or iTunes and leave a review for me. It helps a bunch. And be sure to subscribe and share the show with your friends. This is JJ Virgin signing off and reminding you that you are worthy. Dare to live a life that matters.